Are we filming? Yes, we are. So welcome to another video. This is just a short video where I'm just changing the discs to my Atoma. There we are, my Atoma notebook. This is late at night. What are we talking? We're talking about 3 o'clock in the morning here in the UK. But I don't have any of these rings, so I'm actually taking them out of a. This is an A4. This is an A4 ARC notebook that I've had for. I think I bought this about 12 years ago. So. Quite a long time, but it's just been in storage. I don't really use disc notebooks in A4 size. Quality of the paper, excellent. As you can see, I was using it as a diary about 12 years ago, and I'm not doing it now. So I'm just going to cannibalize this notebook because. A change is as good as the rest. I mean, this is very, very slimline, and I can fit this in a pocket. But just as a little experiment, one of my many experiments this year, I'm just going to. The way I'm thinking is, I'd like to change. You can see. There we go. You can see the size is quite dramatic. Let me just check the size of the existing rings. We're talking about the internal diameter of 13 millimeters or thereabouts, and this one, I'm probably out of focus here, but let me just do it here. We're talking about maybe 18 millimeters, so a 5 millimeter increase. They actually look massive, but I'm just curious as to what it would be like to handle if it was in 18 millimeter, using these 18 millimeter rings. I mean, you can make them enormous. I mean, this is the beauty. This is the beauty of having a notebook like this. I mean, those of us that use filofaxes or similar ring binders, wouldn't we love to just change on a whim the size of the ring mechanism? But effectively, with a disc-based binder like this, you can do this. So this is a custom size of mine, which is it did start off as 80 by 140, but it's now 80 by 150, so it's slightly taller than a have I got a Moleskine style book here? Yes, I do. So it's considerably thinner. If I line it up against a typical A6 notebook, even if you take the pen out here, you can see that even with the rings, it's thinner, but with the extra 5 millimeter of the ring, so it's 5 millimeter diameter, so it's only 2.5 millimeters increase in the overall width of the notebook. So I'm hoping that it won't be too bad and too sort of unwieldy, as it were. But let's give this a go. I'm going to take these pages out in. I don't want to take too many out at once, but these seem to work okay. Let's just take. I think that's 5. Let's take another 5. This is one of the. I really need a bit more desk space here, but that's one of the disadvantages of working in A4. I do use A4 using my filofax Lyndhurst, which is where I have projects, and paperwork that I'm working on a daily basis. But you need a bit of real estate on your desk, because an A4 binder, like a filofax, that you cannot fold back on itself like these, you effectively need a space that equivalent to A3, plus you need a little bit more than that because of the angle that you're working on. Because I'm left-handed, I typically have what I'm writing at a 45-degree angle, so you need even more than A3 size. So it's not really ideal, but are we getting there? We're nearly there. Just a few more. I suppose this seems like it's a bit time consuming, but compared to changing the rings on a filofax, it's very, very quick. It's a tiny fraction of the time. When I bought this in Staples, we had a Staples store in my town, but because of the inevitable change in the way people buy things, Staples, although they still exist, they're only available online in the UK. Not sure. Tell me if you're living in the States whether you have access to Staples stores in the US that are still using bricks and mortar traditional retail stores. I think you do, but I'm not quite sure. So how many do we? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we need 5 of these rings, not rings, sorry, discs. It's almost like AMSR or ASMR. Doing this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's okay. So this will be a little bit easier. So what I have done is I've taken the pages that I'm using. These are pages that I have previously used, but then because there's still space on the paper that I haven't used, I tend to save those. So I'm effectively using the paper until every part of that paper is used up. So I'm trying to be sort of fairly eco-friendly with this. Even though I do use a lot of paper, I suppose I may use more paper, but I perhaps use less electricity because I am effectively not using, or more importantly buying, so many digital gadgets. I did have years ago a PDA, a personal data assistant or personal digital assistant, which is the size of an iPhone, but I didn't really use it. I think mine was made by Hewlett Packard. Okay, so you can see the difference in size. Let's measure those again. Okay, internal diameter on these is, actually it looks like it's 14 millimeters. Just working in metric here, sorry for you guys across the pond. And here is sort of 18, so only 4 millimeters in it, but it does make an enormous difference, doesn't it? And I don't know what that will do to my paper, how many sheets of paper, my paper capacity, but this is the tricky bit. This is the tricky bit, getting these pieces all on here. Let me put this one in next. This started off as the 80 by 140, but is now part of my 80 by 150 system, but I've cut it down slightly. This is still the original Atoma front cover. The beauty of these is they're indestructible. And I mean, you could destroy these discs, but you know, not generally. You're not going to be doing it generally, but they are getting looser and looser. But the beauty of these is that you can just, when the card becomes when the card becomes effectively not able to grip so easily, you can just replace the card. So this is, I think I'm probably going to speed things up on the edit. So I'm going to stop talking now and just fast forward. Okay, so there we go. This is a little bit stiffer to turn, but that's probably because of the larger radius. But does that look ridiculous? No, I don't think so. I don't know how much paper I can fit into here. Certainly it's slightly more unwieldy than using these small discs, but that might well be because these are flopping about a bit, because there's a distinct lack of paper here. So when this is full, then it might give more stability to these discs, because I'm used to turning this over with just one finger. But you know, it's actually, I'm going to persevere with this because I just want to see, obviously part of my experimentation this year of using lots of different systems at once, which I'd like to share with you. So it didn't take long, did it? Maybe 10 minutes or so, but there we go. So I've increased the capacity of my custom Atoma notebook. Doesn't look too out of place. Would this fit in my pocket? Well, we calculated, didn't we, that there'd only be maybe a 2.5mm increase in the width of the book. It's still within reasonable limits. I'd say that's probably, let me just try and get it right. It's probably about right. No wider, so it's pocketable. These might catch on the material putting it in a pocket, but I'm going to persevere. I will cut some new paper so that I will stuff this full. I'm just guessing there may be maybe 100 pages in here. So we'll just have to see. I mean, this is more bulletproof, a Moleskine or similar. But having said that, it would be very, very difficult for this. This is, I wouldn't say this is as bulletproof, but it's certainly rebuildable. If anything gets ripped, you can replace it with this, whereas this you can't. This is a bit like Trigger's broom. If any of you know about Trigger's broom in Only Fools and Horses, you'll know exactly what I mean about the longevity of this book. This book could potentially be here in 1,000 years purely through the process of replacing the cover if it's worn out, replacing each page as it wears out, and replacing the discs as they wear out. This is what I might call a perpetual notebook, because it has the potential to be replaceable. Each part becomes replaceable. So from that point of view, it does have a kind of legacy and a longevity that is not possible with any other system. It certainly won't rust, and the mechanism cannot fail. So I'm quite pleased with that. I'm actually quite pleased with that. We'll see, but I hope you can join me on my journey of discovery with this to see whether I prefer a bigger capacity or not. Just toying with the idea. It's just another experiment. So thank you very much for watching. Until my next video, goodbye.